I'll tell you. And we're live. I should have counted us down. You know what they do on the news. So, all right, well, guys, welcome to Lunch with Life Youth. We're so glad you joined us this Monday, gloomy Monday. But if you're worried about the weather, I know we did have some snow yesterday. I heard some flurries. We have 70s coming this weekend, which matters to me because that means we get to go outside. So I know it's totally worth it. So, well, good. We are in episode 7 of Student Stories. Obviously, I have some fabulous guests with me today. So I'm gonna head out and have them introduce themselves and share a little bit of their stories with you guys. So, take it away, my lovely guests.
Hey guys, I'm Pam. I'm one of the youth leaders here at 621 or midweek, and I'm here to kind of introduce you to someone special who's in my group at 621. And so I'll kind of take it over to introduction. So, what is your name?
Hi, I'm Casey. I'm in 10th grade, so high school.
Yeah. What school do you go to? What's your main school?
I go to Canton High School.
Yeah. All right. So, Casey, share with us some of your favorite things that you like to do.
I like to read.
And learning how to knit or crochet. Casey's a person to go to. She's very creative and she's made some pretty awesome things. So I'm excited to see some more of her projects from this quarantine time. So maybe someday we'll be able to do that. So, all right. So I hear you kind of have a story to share with us today, kind of your journey and how that's kind of been. So I'll let you kind of take it from here. How about that?
Yeah. So, I grew up going to church. My parents are both Christians, and we lived in like multiple different countries when I was growing up. But we like wherever we lived, we always went to church. And so when we were living in Germany, when I was like 5, my mom used to always like read a Bible story before bed. And so she was reading me a story one time about a man who like asked Jesus like what he had to do to be like close to God, and Jesus said he had to be like reborn again. And I was 5, and I was like, what the heck does that mean? Like, it still sounds kind of like weird. And my mom was like, basically, it just means that you just have to ask God that you want to be like a part of his family, and you have to like just know that God loves you. And I was like, well, I want to do that because I want to be a part of God's family. So
awesome.
She prayed with me, and that's when I was kind of like, you know what, God, I always want you to be in my life, and I always kind of like want to be a part of God's life, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
and so that's where you kind of met Jesus. You kind of started your journey. So what kind of things did you like begin? I mean, what were some of the things that you felt changed? I mean, did you feel changed by that moment, or was this kind of a progressive thing? What kind of things did you do to kind of strengthen that?
I think it was kind of like as I grew, I like continued to learn more about God, and to like not deepen, but to like grow my relationship with him.
Mm-hmm.
And that even included like sometimes like having doubts if he was like
sure,
and then learning that it's like okay to have doubts.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite like little prayers things that I learned was like, Lord, help me in my unbelief. So so that's one thing.
Mark 9, when it talks about that. Yeah, that's great. Was there anything that really stood out to you that you felt changed, like your life before then? I mean, was there something that you really struggled? You talked about doubt, but was there anything in particular that struck you that you saw a change once you accepted you surrendered your heart that really you noticed quite differently? Maybe something with your family, something with how you looked at something else in your life?
I was pretty little, but I
Yeah.
think I ended up so like there wasn't like much before that, but I think I ended up talking to God a lot more, and I think when you're younger, it's a little bit easier to be more open with God and used to praying with him and talking to him.
Hmm.
So I think that was something that was kind of really cool because I think I heard a lot more from God when I was younger because it was easier for me to like be open to him.
Yeah. So how
Yeah.
about now? So how do you see it being a teenager, being in high school, and being, you know, um, bombarded with so many things around us that are hard, especially even in this situation that we're dealing with the quarantine? How have you felt that has helped you in situations that you faced?
I think yeah, when you get older, you have to try a little bit harder to stay more focused on God because a lot of things competing for your attention.
Hmm.
But when I do like stop and I pray about something, I and then later in that day I like look back at my day and I realize, oh wow, like God was actually like really with me in that moment when I was like
Oh yeah.
freaking out about something, and then I like found my missing homework, or I wasn't late to class and I thought I was going to be, or and I
Yeah.
didn't fail a test. So yeah, it's sometimes hard. You really have to like sit back and reflect on your day, or like think about what you prayed for and see how it was answered,
Yeah.
because it's not always like super obvious that God answered your prayer.
Right, right. And it's not always the one that we always want, but sometimes we have to accept some of the things, right, that happen not the way we wanted to. But so, what do you hope to see? Where do you hope to see your relationship with Jesus go? What would you like to see him do in your life as your days
um
go on?
I would like to see him use me to like make a difference in other people's lives, and maybe it's just like something small. And for me that's kind of like it kind of seems like a big goal because like it's hard to always like show Jesus to other people when you're upset or angry, to like always be like, you know what, I'm just gonna not say that, or just like step back. So sometimes I like fail really bad about that at showing
Yeah,
other people Jesus' love,
yeah,
but I can always try again because of
yeah.
grace. So,
And it's honesty, right? I mean, and people see that if you're honest when we make mistakes. I mean, they see that, they just see that side of you, how you react, and you're sorry and you forgiveness. And sometimes that's hard, for people to do, but to see that we humble ourselves. That's awesome, Casey. Um, so, I mean, one thing that I really enjoy, that your creativity and the things that you do, and you're involved in so much, like art in the park, and um, I know this is huge for you. This year they canceled it. So how have you dealt with that disappointment? I mean, I know all of these students, all you guys have dealt with a lot of disappointment. So how with that one? I mean, because you love to create and sell your stuff, and that's your ministry almost, to people. So how has that affected you? That disappointment of not being able to do that. How have you dealt with that?
um, I mean, I kind of like expected it would happen just because of everything that's happening and all the things that are being canceled. And I figured since like art in the park is canceled, I'll just focus more on like building my website for my business and like launching that and pouring my energy into more things. And yeah, so I just think it's just like perspective. Like, yeah, that's canceled this year, but it's all right. I can
Yeah.
like it opens me to focus up more time on other things, and yeah.
That's great. Yeah. And that's really hard to do, but that kind of just shows where you are and how Christ just kind of showed you, giving you that peace about it. I got time to do it another time. That's really good. So how could you take some of the lessons that you've learned um, in your journey and encourage others to maybe either share their story or do something to help themselves through a challenging time? How could you encourage them?
Um, I would say that for people that are dealing with a lot of like tough things, I've seen it a lot in like adults and kids and teenagers and basically everyone that um he'll use the time, the hard thing that you went through, the challenge that you faced, and if you share your story and tell people about it, then that can help someone else. Like what you went through, if you share your story, it can help someone else who's going through something like that.
Oh,
So
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, and sharing
Super.
your story, like it doesn't have to be really fancy or anything. Like we
Yeah.
use like the word testimony a lot, which is like
Mhm.
what you basically call sharing, like how you met Jesus and everything.
Mhm.
It's actually really like easy, and you don't need like a big
Right.
like speech.
Yeah. Just simple. Sharing what's going on. Yeah. Being real. Okay. Well, I think we're gonna invite Abby back, and she might have some announcements. She's back.
I'm back, guys. That was wonderful. I love seeing people connected. I miss seeing it. So thank you so much for both being here today and for Casey for sharing and being so open. I think that goes a long way. That makes a difference to other people that are looking for connection. So thank you for doing that for your peers and that are tuning in now and are going to check out later too. So I've got 2 announcements. The first one is that we are launching a video series, which is going to be cool. So other leaders like Pam are making videos of different spiritual disciplines, and we're going to be posting that on our YouTube channel at 2 o'clock. So if you guys are looking for ways to learn more and go deeper, or just spend a couple minutes figuring out what to do with your afternoon, come back here and check it out. They're going to be posted every day at 2. And then I want to invite you to come back on Wednesday. We're going to be live for midweek, and we're going to be talking about change, which when I had planned out when we were going to talk about that, we were supposed to be opening up on the 15th, but that has since changed, obviously. But I thought that since there are things changing in the midst of the change that we're expecting, it would be good to continue talking about how do we handle that, especially because it looks different for parents or adults, even teachers, than it does for you guys as students. So I want to welcome you back for that. We do have some people from the youth band coming to lead us in worship too. So I'm really excited about that. I love that they're coming back. And we might have another exciting game like counting potatoes. You never know with me on Wednesday, so you don't want to miss it. Be here at 6:30 live. All right. Thanks, guys, for joining us, Lunch with Life Youth. Have a great rest of your day, no matter if you just woke up, if you're enjoying a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or getting started on your homework, whatever it may be. We're glad you joined us. So, all right. See you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
This is the worst part.